do it.
All right. Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of the Mates Rates podcast. Different setup today because Melbourne's back in lockdown for a second time round, so we're doing this all virtually, and let's hope that technology doesn't fuck up this time. My name is Warwick, joined here by Josh.
What's up?
And our mate West.
Hello.
Hey,
how's it going?
Yeah.
Matt West from Neck Deep.
Yeah, the riff lord himself, West from Neck Deep.
Yeah.
The wizard behind the guitar.
Yeah.
All in appearance, not in skill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean you're a wizard at guitar. I mean,
No, I'm fucking shit.
You kind of look like a wizard, and you happen to play guitar.
Yeah, that's the analogy. I always think people might get confused by it, where they're like, "Oh, he must be really, really good," and then they'll see me play and be like, "He fucking sucks. He's so bad."
I don't get it. Where's this wizard? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess probably everyone's big question when they see you play is, do you ever get dizzy?
No,
Because
luckily.
I did a little spin around on my wheelie chair out there just to like test it. I spun around like twice and threw up. So I don't know how the fuck you do it.
I don't know. Well, the thing for me was I realized like at a young age that I'm not ever going to be any good at playing guitar. So I've kind of got to figure out another way to make it look impressive and make it look like I know what I'm doing. So I thought if I just move around a lot and spin around a lot, people will think that I'm actually not terrible. And it's kind of worked. It's an
Big time.
an illusion.
It fooled me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're a phony, is what you're trying to say.
Oh, 100%.
This guy's a phony.
This guy's a
Big phony. Hey?
No,
His guitar's not even plugged in. What's he doing?
Oh no, it is. I will say one thing. Like I'm not like very good at guitar in terms of like the grand scheme of things.
I think you
like,
said that earlier. I think you said that a few times already. But anyway.
It'll be a recurring theme. But what I do play live, I can move around and play it fairly well without it sounding too terrible. So maybe that's my skill, just jumping around like a tit. And then
Imagine if
not
it was
mucking the
like
song up.
imagine if it was like on Guitar Hero, you know, like when you stuff up a few notes, it's like ding, 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 ding. Like if someone I know there's those like YouTube videos of like Creed shreds and stuff where they like overdub it and he's like going hard, but it's just like sounds like shit. Yeah. I imagine like maybe that's what would happen if everything else was off except your guitar. You're spinning so much you just hear like ding, 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 ding. But anyway, enough about how amazing you are at guitar.
Oh yeah.
So for everyone that doesn't know, Josh and I have known West for a while. I actually met you on your first US tour, was it? When Wishful Thinking first came out?
Yeah, it was. It was in Anaheim at Chain Reaction was the first time we met you.
Yeah, which was crazy to see how far you've come since then. Even that Anaheim show was actually insane. Like that was that Chain Reaction show was mental. But yeah, so then you guys came to Australia years later, and Caitlin was actually just telling me that you asked her where to get tattooed from, and she said you should get tattooed by Josh. And that's how that connection came about.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I thought it was Newey that brought him in. Brought the guys in.
I remember the first time that we met Josh and everyone was because we I think it was we wanted to get like tour tats for the first time we came to Australia, because the first time we went to Grand Illusion was in end of 2013 maybe, and I remember we all wanted the same tattoo. Yeah, we all wanted the same tattoo, and we were like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could all get it done on the same day? But we didn't have any money. Like we were broke. Like we had no money whatsoever. Like we were poor as fuck. So we rang around all these studios like, yeah, 8 of us all want to get this tattoo, and we all got $50. And then we didn't realize that $50 is £25. If someone did that in the UK, they get laughed out the building. It'd be like, no,
it's pretty low.
I'm not doing 8 tattoos in a day, the same tattoo over and over again for fucking no money. But the shop was like, yeah, cool, come in. We were like, oh, right, fine. And then we met everyone from there.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, because Nui has brought a few bands in, and I thought I couldn't remember whether, because I remember he brought Being as an Ocean in as well, and I couldn't remember which came first. I think maybe you guys came first, and then he brought Being as an Ocean from that experience.
Yeah, probably. We nearly got Nui to get a tattoo that day. He doesn't have any, and he was.
We've almost got him to get a tattoo every time, but it still hasn't happened.
He'd known us for less than a week, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll get a fucking tattoo," and we were like, "Oh no!" But he didn't do it. He didn't get it in the end. Sorry for the terrible Australian accent, then. But
that was good. That was real good.
I love the tattoo.
So that 2013 tour, yes, that was your first one. Was that the one with Trophy Eyes then?
Yes, it was. It was the one with Trophy Eyes when they were on that ridiculous fucking bus.
Yeah. The Wicked van.
The Wicked campus bus.
Yeah. That was actually...
Those things are so hideous.
Yeah. That was actually just before I met them, actually. And So, but yeah, I met it's weird how I met you guys first and then I met Trophy Eyes after, because like obviously I worked with Trophy Eyes for years. So and then we've been around the globe, really.
Pretty much, which is mental, isn't it, when you think about it in the short space of time?
I know, it's crazy. I guess in the lead up, you guys have an album coming out next week. I'm assuming you're pretty hyped for that because, you know, COVID, not much else is happening, so
no, it's literally fucked every plan that we had for it. We had like all these grand ideas, like, oh, we'll do pop-up shops in like all the major cities in the UK and the US, and then it's like, no, fuck off, you can't do anything. It's like,
you'll do none of that, and you'll sit exactly at home in your bedroom and shut up.
This chair that you're in now, you're going to be glued to it for 4 months. Oh, fucking sick, thank you.
We're not going anywhere.
Oh my god, that sucks.
Well, how does it feel being like, if like a year ago you guys were probably in the position of, you know, saying what every touring band says, like, fuck, I feel like I barely have a home, I'm never even here, and like I feel like my home is just on the road, and like, did you ever think you were going to be forced to not do that anymore for a while?
No, like, especially on the heels of like a new record. It's such an alien feeling, because now this is not only the time when we're in overdrive, like flying around, driving everywhere, like doing a lot of press, doing a lot of like in-stores and stuff, and it's just like we can't do any of it, which is kind of annoying. It's nice to not have to do that this time around and think outside the box. That's been the fun part, is like trying to promote a record where you can't leave your bedroom. That's the that's been the fun bit for me, at least. So we've been doing like a lot of streaming and stuff, and we've been trying to think of different ways to get people excited about it, and it means that we have to make every release a little bit different from the last one. So single wise, it's not just like the normal thing of like, here's a single, there you go, 3 or 4 weeks time, here's another single. So we've been trying to do like different bits every time we've put a song out, but it still doesn't beat playing shows. Like, we figured out the other day, it's going to be nearly a year now since we last played a show, which is fucking insane. It's so insane.
Crazy. Are you looking back at like 6 months ago, like, did you turn something down that was like pretty big, thinking you didn't have time for it because this year was going to be so big for you? Or like, are you looking back being like, fuck, we really should have just done that tour in hindsight? But
luckily for us, like last summer we had the Blink tour, which was like the biggest thing that we could ever possibly hope to do, like tour with Blink and fucking Lil Wayne.
So sick.
But
crazy.
Just mental experience. So we got to do that, and then that kind of led us up to the end of the year. So we finished that tour was like 3 months long, and it had a 2-week break in the middle, where on the 2-week break we got to come home as like a holiday. So we came home for a holiday and then went back out on the tour again afterwards, which was just weird. But we did that, and then as soon as we came back from that, we had a month off, and then we went and recorded the album, because we did this record the end of last year, but we didn't post anywhere saying that we were going to do an album. We just came out in February and were like, we did a record, you didn't know about it.
That's what I mean. I was telling clients, I'm like, because I do a lot of neck teep fan tats, as I'm sure you know. They've all been sent my way because I tattoo you guys, so they think like it's the 1 degree of separation. Like they can almost smell West's beard on me. And
I thought you were going to say for a sec, people come to the shop to get neck deep tattoos in the hopes that they'll just be chilling.
They'll just be there.
Yeah.
That did happen once. Like whenever I post that I'm tattooing West or something, the next day, like a diehard fan will just be like coming in for a walk in, like, I just went to get they're not here. I'm gonna go. But yeah, I remember telling one of them like, oh fuck, you stoked about the album or whatever, and they're like, what album? I was just like, what? You're like a diehard fan. Shouldn't you know? I was like, oh, maybe I'm tripping. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't listen to him, so I don't personally know. I'm just.
I've never really heard of him, to be honest.
Yeah. Fuck, what an absolute cool guy move. Oh, I don't listen to him or anything. I'm just friends with them, but just whatever.
Yeah, they kind of suck, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Like, it's cool that you're into it. Like, yeah, whatever, dude. But if you're into that sort of stuff, like, I like good music personally, but if you're into that.
Holy shit.
There's going to be a lot of roasting today. I'm just letting you know. I haven't spoken to you in a while, West. There's going to be some roasting.
Fine.
This is going to be called the Roast of West.
Yes, the Roast of West.
No.
Fuck, does he not even know that Hasselhoff's about to come on as well and roast him? We've got all these guests lined up.
Imagine just a revolving door of people. Josh gets up and then someone else sits down.
Yeah. Oi, Av, come roast West for a sec.
Oh, but you're getting, no. I was like, we're actually getting them guests. Yeah, well. So you mentioned that obviously because you can't do the traditional thing and you guys did the live streaming stuff. That's something I wanted to like kind of ask you about. Do you just stream or have you streamed outside of the stuff that you've done with the band?
I tried it a few years ago just to dip my toe into the water just to see how it'd be, and I had no idea about how to set it up properly, and I was just streaming off a PS4 with like a plug-in mic, and it kind of sucked. And then we started. Was
there a company that helped you out by any chance, or is there a plug coming up? Or no?
Wait, was the PS4s from Taco Bell?
What does that mean? Can you win PS4 from Taco Bell?
Did you not hear that story?
No.
Oh, God.
Great story.
Please explain how you get a PS4
or
from Taco Bell.
Wait. Before we get into it, are we going to get in any trouble for this? Was there an NDA signed?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. Fucking go for the story then. I don't give a shit.
It's a great story. So basically, years ago, when we first went to America, we fell in love with Taco Bell, and we were like, this is the best thing ever. So of course, first thing I did when I got home was like, I'm going to just make a Taco Bell rip shirt. So I just got their logo, got their font, and just changed Taco Bell to neck deep. Obviously it fits well because it's 8 characters in total. And then one day we got an email from them after we'd been selling it for like a year, and we were like, oh no, fuck, this is going to be a cease and desist. We're going to court. And then they turned around and were just like, we love it. We really like the shirt. We think it's hilarious. Thank you for doing it. And we were like, okay. And then the next email came through. Oh, dude, mate, honestly. And then the next email came through and they were like, we want you to open a store in Sheffield. We want you to come and play an acoustic set in a Taco Bell. And we were like, okay. And like, we'll pay you this amount of money. And at the time, the amount of money they paid us was the biggest guarantee we'd ever been paid for a show. We were like, what the fuck? We were just like, what the fuck is going on? And then we all got like
opposite of what should have happened.
Oh, yeah, we should have been taken to court by him. But then we got given like £500 worth of Taco Bell vouchers each as well on top of that.
Jesus.
And and I had no fucking money at the time. We were all flat broke. And I remember it was the same with my housemates as well. So we just divvied them out between us. So we'd just go to Taco Bell in Manchester and that would be everyone's lunch on their work break for like a year because we had that much of it. God. It was so stupid.
That is so good.
It's ridiculous.
And then after that, we did a tour in the US at the end of 2014. They were like, oh, thank you so much for doing that. Do you want to come to the head office? You get to try out all the stuff in like the Taco Bell kitchen. You get to make your own food. And we were like, yeah, cool. So we tried some stuff that hadn't come out. I know. Tried some stuff that hadn't.
Weird.
It gets weirder, honestly. and then he's doing us a tour of the office. And then this guy who used to work there, Billy, walked us past his desk and he has one of the neck deep shirts framed above his desk. like the Taco Bell one. And then he ends the whole tour. It's so ridiculous. And then he ends the whole tour by going, does anyone like video games? And I'm like, I love video games. And he goes, well, I'm going to give each of you a PS4. And we were like,
what?
Fucking hell. Giveaway of a lifetime.
I know. And I was just like, I mean, I've been saving up money and I was going to use my money from this tour to buy one. So this is sick. So now I can just buy some games. But yeah, he just gave 5 of us a PlayStation 4 and we were just like, thank you. And then we just left.
Shit. That is so funny.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah, it was mental. It was the first time I was like, just stood there in awe of just like, what the fuck is going on here?
What is
like,
actually happening?
Yeah. One, why have you not sued us? 2, why have you paid us? 3, why are you giving me a PlayStation? What the
Are you
fuck
going to give me the PS4 and then sue me? What is happening? Like, where is the catch? I don't like this.
Yeah, but that's the tale of that. And I remember going back to the venue and we all walked in, and we weren't playing big rooms at the time, we were playing pretty small rooms, and we all just walked in with a PS4 each and real friends were there and we're like, what the fuck is that? And we were like, you're not going to believe us if we told you.
I love that you're just like walking around holding your PS4s like it's a Game Boy or a Walkman, just like
mate,
over your shoulder.
In the fucking van. No way. We got nicked straight out the window. No way. I was like, I'm sleeping with this.
That is fucking amazing. That's
it's still crazy. Like we went back to they invited us back recently to the head offices, and we were like, here we go, boys, we're getting a PS4 Pro each. And
PS5s.
We were all going in like, oh god, I'd love one of them PlayStation VR headsets. And then we just they were really nice. They showed us around, but the guy who used to work there doesn't work there anymore, and I'm not sure whether it was because he gave away fucking 5 PlayStations or not. But
Santa doesn't work at Taco Bell anymore.
No, Father Christmas has left.
God, I fucking love that story because it's one of those ones where you can't make that up. Like even if you tried, you could not make up that story.
No, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
It's sick. So you haven't really tried streaming since that time, or you just kind of...
I mean, I gave it a go. I tried it a little bit at the start of lockdown, because my initial thought with it is I don't want to invest a load of money into it.
Yeah.
And get all this gear, get all this shit set up if people aren't asked about it. And luckily, like, I streamed on my own channel for a little bit, and we were like, me doing it isn't really beneficial. What matters at the minute now is the album and like getting some form of like attention on us, just because we can't do anything at the moment. So we decided to make a Neck Deep channel.
Yeah.
And then from there, we just started streaming just some games. And then we've done album listening streams from stuff. And it's just been really good. I did like a charity stream for Crew as well, where that was fucking miserable. I wouldn't do that again. I did like I played Final Fantasy VII Remake from start to finish with no breaks, no stopping. It took 35 hours. It was fucking horror. You should have smelt this room. Oh my god, it stank.
I'm picturing it like that South Park episode where Cartman is just like playing WoW and he's
Mom,
toilet. It's just shitting into a bucket at her.
Fuck.
Lid, bless her, was just like knocking on the door and bringing up like a coffee like every hour whilst she was up, and then during the night I'd have to be really quiet and speaking to the mic like this. It was so stupid.
And the bucket was just between your legs, or
no. This sounds really gross. You know what's really mad? I only peed the entire time.
What?
That's weird.
Yeah, and I only realized that the other day. I was like, fuck, I didn't actually go to the I was just like, so I'd get up, go for a break, and like the bathroom is like to the left out of this door, like next to it. So I'd go for a pee and then come straight back and crack on with it. Because it got to the point after like 15 hours where I was like, I just want to fucking finish this now.
So funny.
I actually had
to raise. Sorry. Dude.
Oh yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say I actually just finished The Last of Us Part 2, and I felt the same way. It got to a point where I was like, fuck, I just want to finish this. I was playing it like 6 hours every night. And I got the same vibe completely. But obviously I didn't play it for like 30 hours straight and streamed it and raised a shitload of money for your crew like you did. So well done.
Yeah. Thank you.
He actually did it for charity. You just did it because you're a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah. I just did it.
Good for you. We'll give him a round of applause as well. Go on, Wes. Give him a round of applause. He's done very well.
I played a video game and I did it.
Yay.
Yay.
Go Warwick. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm loving the Stone Cold shirt.
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, West has the... I'll show you a proper one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, West has the largest wrestling shirt collection in the world.
Of all time.
That's not confirmed.
God, it's got to be close, though.
Yeah, we need Guinness Book of Records to confirm that shit.
I've seen some crazy shit. Like the amount that some people have is way more insane than me, but I still have quite a lot. Yeah. I think last count...
Do you have a rough total? Yeah. Rough total.
I think last time I counted, which was about 6 months ago, and I've been buying a lot more since, I was about 120 shirts, which is...
That's a lot. That's a lot for one very specific theme.
Oh, but that's the...
I wish I had 120 X-Files shirts or something.
Oh,
but I've only got one, so... No, I've got two, actually, so I'm getting close.
I got a really good one recently. Let me find it. I'm still here. I'm trying to find the shirt I bought. It's one I've wanted for this one. It's the Austin double snake arm ones.
Oh my god. His arms are snakes.
And then the back, it just massive letters, expect no mercy.
Oh my god.
Incredible.
That's the best part about the shirts is the big quote on the back. Like
I've got some terrible ones. I forget.
Are there any that you can't wear about? Yeah, like
yes,
get 100%. Fucked, you bunch of cunts or something on the back.
Mate, there's this Kane one that I really like the front print of, and I forgot that like what the back print was, and I went to shopping with it, and it just says in massive fiery letters, "You will burn in hell." Just huge letters on the back, and I was like, "This doesn't seem. This is putting across the wrong message." Yeah. And then there's another one. I've got a Godfather one, which is just a cartoon of him on the front with a big fucking cigar in his mouth with a load of weed leaves in the background. And it just says on the back, "Light up a fatty for this pimp daddy." And I'm like, I can't wear that. I can't wear that. It's ridiculous.
That's insane.
I would maybe low-key wear that.
No, the shirt's terrible as well. It looks like it's like clip art on the front, and then that in like it's pink writing with like a yellow glow around all of it and like cartoon lettering. It's so bad.
Yeah, there's so good.
But there's some that are just fucking gross that I've just bought that are like, I'm gonna buy that and put it in a cupboard and never wear it. Like like mesh like football shirts and stuff.
Gross.
You can't get cheap mesh really.
Shit.
But you know what I found is interesting? It's like if you play in a famous band, you can literally wear whatever you want on stage and it'll look really cool. So it's like you could wear a mesh shirt on stage and everyone would be like, yeah, that's Wes wearing his mesh shirt. And then as soon as you're out in public at a supermarket, everyone's like, who the fuck is that guy in the mesh shirt?
Yeah.
Bash him now. Like, you cannot wear that mesh shirt in public.
No.
I can
not
smell
when you're
you
going shopping.
Yeah.
I remember like seeing Ollie from Bring Me wearing like that Jesus is a cunt shirt on stage, and I was like, yeah, fuck, that looks like that's metal as fuck. And then I saw some dude like on the train wearing that shirt, and he got off like at Paran, like where I was living at the time, and he just got berated by like this older person, just like going off their nut. It's like, man, what a ballsy move though. Wear a shirt like that.
I can't do it. Like I can't honestly. No, I couldn't do it. Like I have shirts that I'll be like, I'll wear that in the house, but there's no way in hell I'm wearing it outside. Like it's so bad, some of it.
Yeah,
it's so good.
But so
you obviously grew up on wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. Were you a big sports guy, or was that your sport?
When I was younger, my parents are diehard Manchester United fans. Like. To the point where it's quite scary. Like my mum morphs in from this nice lady to a demon when they're playing and they're losing. Like I've never heard anyone swear like she does when they're not winning a game. Like it's frightening.
Fuck, that's amazing. And it would have been that good era of Beckham and stuff while you were growing up and shit. So it would have been
like huge. Treble. Yeah, I remember them winning the treble, which I don't know if anyone will know what that is, but it's like where they won.
Oh, no one does, but keep going anyway.
No. Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, which is like the three like big main titles for a British club to win, and they won all of them in one season, and they won it in like mad fashion as well. Like they were in the final for the Champions League, which was the last trophy they needed to win. They were losing the entire game 1-0, and they got to the 91st minute, which is in extra time, and they equalised. And then the minute after, they scored the winner, which was just fucking insane. I remember.
Did Beckham bend it in, or am I saying that right? Bend it?
Bend it in, bend it like Beckham. No, it was the goals were like, in retrospect, the goals were shit. They were really scrappy and they were really bad, but it didn't matter. It was 2 players. It was their manager they have now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and then this unit that they used to have in defence called Teddy Sheringham. He just scored a goal somehow, and it was like, he's a national hero. But I remember him scoring that goal, and then everyone on our street was a United fan, and everyone just ran outside and was just screaming their heads off because no one could believe it. It was mental. I still like watching that. I don't really watch football that much anymore, but like once or twice a year I'll watch that and it'll be like, yeah, that was sick. That was really sick. Yeah, but but then wrestling, I just used to watch it in the mornings on like Sky One we had in the UK, and it would be SmackDown, not Raw or anything like that. And then from there, I don't know, everyone else kind of grew out of it. And then there was a period of time where I was in high school where wrestling really, really, really wasn't cool.
Yeah,
and it'd be me. You've met Sumter, the both of you, haven't you? Yeah. So it'd be me and Sumped, just like at his on the weekend, just like watching wrestling whilst everyone else was out like either drinking or stuff. Literally. Yeah. So. Well, that was through high school because we went to the same high school and we've been friends for forever pretty much. And then we all moved to Manchester, and then all of us that moved in were wrestling fans, and then it just got worse. We had this big fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin tapestry hung up on the wall, and we had a cardboard cut out of The Rock and Austin in the front room. It was so bad. And this isn't even that long ago. This is like 2014, 15.
So good. But yeah, I was absolutely obsessed with it growing up. It was like, that was pretty much the sport for me that I was interested in. And used to have like all the action figures and stuff and the ring, and have my own fights and stuff in my bedroom. And but yeah, they were literally like superheroes to me. It was like, you know, like I was heaps into comics and stuff, but I think I probably had more wrestling toys than I had like Marvel comic toys or anything.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, it was just like something that was just like so fucking cool about it all. And yeah, I guess you do sort of hit this age where you're like, fuck, do I keep going with it? Is this getting weird just watching grown men like wrestling a bunch but like acting like they're in a soap opera
it's
and
not
shit?
Weird
like,
at all.
And that's the thing for me. I love B movies. I love shit B movies and shit horror movies. And for me, it's so just a really it's just a really, really, really bad TV drama. Like is what it is. It's fucking shit, and that's why it's amazing, because it's so over the top and hokey and rubbish. And it's just like, this is why it's sick. This is why it's entertaining for me. And then occasionally you'll get like,
I definitely think like WWF like took it to the next level, whereas like every episode there was like all the like behind the scenes, you know, like behind the stage footage of like Triple H like going to his limo and then like just getting like bashed and shit and like oh my god, what? Like, and like you sort of see people like cheating on each other's like wives and shit, and
so
it's just
bad.
Like, oh, this is crazy. He's gonna get suplexed when he finds out. Like,
and then fucking Austin will just steam through on a monster truck or fucking beer truck and just douse the audience in beer. It's just like, this is so silly.
So good. Were you a WWF or WCW fan? Or both?
WWF, not WCW.
Yeah. See, I loved WCW. I loved like Nitro and shit. Oh, really?
Yeah. So we didn't have. So you'd have to have like Sky, which is like cable in America, and we didn't have that. My parents didn't have that, so we could only watch. It would be SmackDown on a Saturday on Sky One, and then Sunday Night Heat at 5:00 on a Sunday on Channel 5, which was fucking shit. Sunday Night Heat was poo. It was so bad.
But that means you missed out on like Goldberg and Sting and like NWO and like. Did you ever like catch up on that stuff, or have you just are you just not into those? Because a few of them like came over to WWF, like WWE and stuff, so you might have like caught their later careers. But
I mean, the thing for me that got me caught up on a lot of all that stuff, like in terms of like the history of it and WCW and the Monday Night War and everything, was when WWE released like the network, which is just like their subscription service. And for me, I wasn't really too bothered about watching old matches or anything. They just had a lot of like really good documentaries that kind of got you up to speed on everything that happened between the two, and like some behind the scenes stuff as well on like how they would be at war with each other, like literally in the ratings, like trying to like outdo each other. And sometimes someone on WCW would spoil the finish of like a match on WWF when they got like a leak or something. They'd be like, don't turn over now because bloody blah is about to win this belt and that's boring. And then people who just stay watching WCW, which is just ridiculous.
That's insane.
But,
they were rivals, hey, I guess,
Oh, they fucking hated each other, yeah.
That's insane.
Couldn't stand each other. But there's some of the documentaries are pretty cool. Like, as like a lapsed fan, if you're ever into it, like, it's worth just, if you're ever like at wit's end with nothing to do, just chucking on like a free trial for it just to watch a couple of the documentaries on it. They did a really good one on Undertaker as well recently.
Oh, really? It's really interesting about Undertaker because like he's one of those dudes that like did not break character his entire career until he like retired like this year or whatever. Like he would literally be the Undertaker. Like that was who he was as a person. It wasn't like he'd leave the ring and like switch off. Like what a shitty dude to be around. Just this like grim, evil man to be around. It's insane.
I don't care what anyone says. American Badass Undertaker on the motorbike is way better than the spooky Undertaker.
Yeah.
I won't hear anything different. I know a lot of people love the dead man. I'm like, nah.
Yeah. I love the goth version.
Oh, no, the motorbike one's way funnier. What's his gimmick? He just comes in on a motorbike, fucking chins everybody, and then just leaves. Biscuit.
So good.
It's so stupid.
There's this, I think there's like a series on Prime at the moment that like goes through all like the tragedies of wrestling.
Dark Side of the Ring.
Okay.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring.
It's grim. It's so horrible.
Fucking hell. I'd have to say that sport has the highest suicide rate out of any. Like, I think it's all like the steroid abuse and like the repetitive head trauma just like makes these guys psychopaths and very heavily depressed and holy shit. Like,
some of the background like politics and stuff involved in it are crazy as well. Have you seen any of the episodes?
I personally haven't seen it. Just a mate of mine was telling me about like I have to get onto it. And a lot of the stories I'd already known just in general. Probably not all of them. Yeah.
There's an episode about Bruiser Brody that's worth a watch. That is mental. It's fucking insane.
For Warwick and for other listeners who aren't into wrestling, you tell that story and then I'll follow it up with another fucked up one and then maybe we'll start moving on from wrestling. But I think it's worth hearing.
Hey, I'm learning. I'm learning, guys. Well, I'm here just to fucking soak it
if
in.
You're interested, they're definitely worth a listen because man,
the Bruiser Brody one is basically this guy who is touted to be like the star, like going to be. He was already huge in Japan. He was big on like the independent circuit, and there was talks of him going to like WWE or WWF at the time. And he had a date booked in Puerto Rico, and he was in the changing room in the shower, and someone killed him, stabbed him in the shower, dead.
What?
Oh my god! Like a fan, like a diehard fan of the rival, or.
That's where it starts getting mental. Like it's either no one knows who did it. It's either the promoter. It's either
fuck.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it any more than that, but it's fucking insane. So it
sounds like one of those unsolved mysteries that just came out on Netflix. Like, you know, no one knows what the fuck happened. They're still trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the Bruiser Brody episode. So that's definitely worth a watch. Like his persona was he was just this fucking madhead who'd just run round like with a chain and he'd go into the crowd and start fucking swinging this chain around his head at people and stuff.
Bashing fans with a chain. Mate, that was his thing.
He worked like, so the expression is working stiff, which means like if you're hitting someone, you're hitting them. You're not actually like faking it. Like you just it's called working stiff, and then if you hit someone it's called a potato, and he just used to fucking potato everybody, just chin wrestlers all the time.
Oh my god.
I think,
and they're like, the fuck? Like, you're not like, meant to actually fuck me up. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, he's it's worth a watch because he's just this fucking psychopath in the ring. But then when he's out of it and he's at home, he just seemed like this really nice guy. So it's it's definitely worth like sitting through that episode and maybe a couple more. There's some of them are just fucking. Some of them are grim. Like don't go into it thinking, oh, this might be quite nice. It's just like it's just misery.
Yeah,
it's interesting, but it's fucking miserable.
Yeah. So if you didn't watch WCW, were you familiar with Chris Benoit growing up, or is this something you discovered later on?
Yeah, because he was one of the few that came over to WWF.
He did, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chris Benoit, for those who don't know, was called like the Rabid Wolverine, and he was like the fucking he comes out and he's all just like like he's just like and it looks like an absolute psychopath to begin with anyway. And then apparently from years of like head trauma and steroid abuse, he was the perp in a double murder suicide, and he fucking over a 3-day period he killed his wife, then he killed his son, then he hung himself, and is like fucking so grim. Like what the fuck?
Crazy.
Sorry to bring the mood down, but it's just like Jesus
mad.
Christ, like what? That's like some like hard hitting serial killer shit.
It's insane.
Like I don't know like how like there has to be some ramifications from the sport, surely, like because like I guess you think wrestling is like kind of fake, but then like you're saying, this guy like is actually hitting people. Like some of it has to be, you know, mellowed out, but it is still like injuries and stunts gone wrong and
well, you can't fall on your back from 6 foot in the air and it not hurt. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. There's a safe way to do it, but it's still happening.
Yeah, but it could still any time could be the time that you fucking slip a disc or your back breaks. You know what I mean? Like, and it also depends on like you can train so much, but if you're doing like some high risk move, like you can fuck it easily, and that's it. That's good night. Not happening anymore. You're not wrestling anymore. So like, there's ways where certain aspects of it are fake, but then on the other side of it, like parts of it are always going to fucking wreck. Like getting thrown into the turnbuckle or getting like thrown onto your back or like taking like a bump over the ropes to the outside. Like what happens if someone's arm is a bit sweaty and then you slip and you don't catch them and then they just fucking land on their head. It is mad. And there's so many like grim videos that you can find of people just fucking it.
Actually,
like it's
getting real hurt.
Like really
especially
hurt.
Cage
like,
matches. I always found like cage matches were like,
I know that they were like really fucked up.
But it's like, how do you fake falling from like a 15-foot cage onto a ladder or something? It's like, what? That's insanity.
Don't. It just hurts.
Because it was always about climbing up the ladder to like grab the belt or whatever, and then they would always kick the ladder and they would just fall from like a 10-foot ladder like onto your neck.
Like nothing.
And it's like, okay.
Like nothing at all.
Yeah. So insane.
Silly.
To end on like a slightly more humorous story. No, fuck, that's not even funny. It's so heavy. You make up your mind whether you think this is slightly humorous or not. I don't know.
Okay.
I think the first part's maybe kind of funny, but there was this guy named Rick Rude. Did you know? Are you familiar with his career?
Yeah.
Well, there's like a rumor. I don't know. I don't think it's ever been confirmed, but there's a rumor. Like he was such a like playboy, basically, like a real womanizer. His whole thing was like going into the crowd and making out with women and shit like that. Just like a real good looking dude. And apparently he injected his penis with Viagra and his like balls swelled so much that they got infected and he's got all his junk amputated. And then he ended up killing himself because of it. That's the rumor. He is dead, but they think it's because he got his junk amputated off and could not deal.
Jesus.
Very grim.
Injecting your dick with Viagra, like,
was
just take the pill. Like, what? It's already in pill form. Did he crush it down from pill form and think, nah, I'm gonna go straight to the source. This has to be bigger, surely.
Oh,
it was weird because like that start of the story when you were like, oh yeah, he's like, his genitals like swelled up. I just thought of like the South Park episode where they're like microwave.
Hey, Randy, look at your balls.
Space offers.
It's like smoking weed in front of the cop. Like,
yeah,
no, got big balls. Hey, he's like, no, your balls, they're huge. Buffalo Soldier. Fuck, that episode is the funniest. I fucking love that one so much. It's like a hippity hop. So good.
Well, yeah, like I guess we'll pivot to music now because
enough about deaths.
I think everyone listening to this was just like, skip the wrestling thing, like get straight to the music thing. It's just
Can you bookmark it?
Yeah. I was like, come to this time code for the music talk.
That's why I said like we'll move on. You're like, no, I'm really interested. And then as soon as you start hearing the penis joke or the penis story, you're like,
I'm fine.
Actually, let's move on.
Let's talk about music.
Fuck.
So I think you were telling me, Wes, like when you started out in bands, you started in a hardcore band. Was that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, at some point we played in like all sorts of bands over the years, and then the last band that we had before we joined or started Neck Deep was just some hardcore band that we did a couple of tours as. Nothing crazy. We didn't really have like a following or anything like that. We just got on a couple of tours, did a few tours, and then as soon as we came back from it, Ben was like, oh, should we record a pop punk song? Ben wasn't in the band at the time. He is we always recorded everything with Ben's brother Seb. And Ben would be in on all the studio sessions anyway, just hanging out and just chilling just because we were mates. And then it was just like, oh, we should do a pop punk song, and we were like, okay. And then, lo and behold,
here we are.
Yeah, look what happened.
You're just like, oh, pop punk, money, not in hardcore? All right, sweet, sign me up. No. Let's go. It
wasn't even that. The aim at the beginning was just like, we should play a show. And then we played a show. And then the aim after that was like, it would be cool if we could sell out like our local venue at some point. And we did that within like 2 years. And we were like, this is fucking stupid. This is crazy. Like our local venue
really
wasn't
did
big.
Blow up, hey, like
because I remember
do you feel like it was just
sorry, I was just gonna say, like, when I met you guys, like at the Anaheim show, you were like, what the fuck, like, because that was your first US tour, wasn't it? And
it was
you headlined it, and it sold out.
Yeah, it was mental, and it was not like a show where it's like, it sold out, and people were there to just like watch and see what it was like. It was fucking insane. Like we had people backflipping off the walls, which sounds like and that sounds like I'm making that up, but I am not joking. We literally had people wall running during the set, and then someone did a front flip off of Ben's back into the crowd. It was
I
just
remember all of that.
Crazy.
I have a part of me up on up on YouTube somewhere, like live from that show, and it's like an acoustic song, and kids are still stage diving and going nuts, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Kids head walking during like an acoustic song. Wild.
Beats me. I don't know.
I feel like you're one of those bands that were able to coast through the era of live shows where it became uncool to move and it became very cool to stand still. It's like I think I was in a hardcore band when you guys started. And like we really felt it over here in Melbourne. The Melbourne hardcore scene got like so egocentric. It was fucked. Like it was very cool to just stand there just cross-armed and like, but like they liked you. Like they came to see you, but it was just like it would be embarrassing for you to be caught moshing.
And people would laugh at people moshing as well. That was fucking
It was
weird.
bizarre.
Get out.
Melbourne went through like such a shitty phase.
But
I honestly feel like it was bands like you guys that like made it cool to keep doing it because it seemed like every time I saw you guys here, I kept being like worried, like, fuck, I don't know, like these guys are used to like a pretty amped up crowd. Like I reckon they're going to be bummed about this crowd, but it seems like you always managed to get Melbourne to move, which was not an easy task. So
again, I think it comes back to what we were speaking about at the beginning. Like we've always felt like if we're going for it, you kind of have to as well. Like,
but it almost seemed like the bands were following the trends as well. Like because it used to be super fucking cool for like metal bands and punk bands to do like almost choreographed like moshing. Like here's the breakdown, and you all like all headbanging at the same time. And then it just seemed like bands were standing still like at the front of the stage, like. You know, it just like got really weird. Like people didn't know what to do, like stage presence wise and crowd wise. But I feel like you guys just ignored all of that and pushed through, and it's
it worked.
I think that's what makes your guys' show like exhilarating and like worth the money, really.
Yeah, I mean,
no one wants to go see a band that's just standing fucking still, and the crowd's like weird.
How can you have fun as someone who's come to a show if the band on stage look bored out of their fucking mind? Like, it just doesn't work. Like, if you go there and you stand there and you watch them, like, well, they're not having fun, are they? They look bored as fuck. Like, I'm not going to move. I'm going to go to the bar and then I'm going to watch 3 songs and I'm probably going to fuck off home before the traffic starts.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, like, it should just be like, if the band is giving it fucking foot to the floor, absolute speed and pace from the get-go to the end, it's like, right, well, this is a cool show to watch. Like, what are they going to do next? So and one thing that I think we've always managed to maintain as well is as we've gone into bigger rooms and we've got more production, we're not letting the production then make up for us moving around. Like we still put on the same show regardless of what we have behind us. Like we could have fucking 50-foot video wall and like, I don't know, flame jets coming out the floor, but like we'd still be running around and moving just as much as we had, because then when you watch that, it's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where do I look? This is sensory overload, which is exactly what I want most of the time. I want someone to just stand there and just go, what is happening? But like in the best way possible. Which sounds it sounds ridiculous, but
no, it's great. I never really knew whether you guys consciously like saved that energy for the big shows, like the Melbourne show, the LA show, the New York show. But then I went on tour with you guys across the Midwest, which was all the smallest cities you could possibly play, like Kansas and Des Moines, Iowa. And
wait, was that on that 2013 Minnesota tour as well, or
Minneapolis? That was like the Riot
2016
tour.
Yeah, 2016. 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I like lived in their bus with them for a week.
Tattooing
them on the bus and backstage at every show and stuff. And it was across like Midwest USA. So it was like pretty much the smallest cities on that tour. I think it was like Denver and Chicago were the big ones. And then it was just like, the Wizard Eagle. We did that backstage with no lighting and just in like a dressing room. It was like so fucking weird.
It came out great though.
Yeah, and then remember I had to do a 3-hour drive to Kansas and back. So a 6-hour round trip after that tat.
What?
And then I had to be back by midnight. It's like,
oh my god,
man, it was the stupidest fucking story. I hate that night so much. But yeah, seeing you at the smaller venues was like, wow, these guys do this every show.
Yeah,
like,
and that's why my back is now fucked.
That was going to be my next question. Is there ever like a show where you're like, this one I can get away with standing still or sitting on the floor? I'll tell you now.
Night 1 of tour is always a bit ropey because it might have been a minute since we last played. Night 2 is always low energy compared to the rest because I am just a fucking knot of muscles and can't move.
Yeah.
Like I'll be getting up in the morning, I look like Batman in his suit trying to move my neck like that.
So like, why didn't they put springs in this neck?
Yeah, that's right. But I started going to like a chiropractor a year ago.
Nice.
Yeah, before tours and stuff, just because it's
taking care of himself. I love that.
Well, I haven't been in a year, but even still, it's just like I normally go before a tour just to be like, I need to get this sorted because if I don't fix it now, it's going to be 10 times worse in 4 weeks' time when we're in the middle of nowhere, America, and I don't know where to go to get it fixed. But it definitely is getting a lot more difficult to do. As I'm like 30 next year, so I'm not getting on, but like I'm not a sprightly young 21-year-old anymore.
Oh, well, you've only got like 10 more years left. Like you're on the tail end of your life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See you in a bit. May as well grind every bone to dust while I can.
Yeah. You don't have much longer anyway. Just go for it, dude. I'd go right now.
I feel that completely. Like obviously I don't throw my guitar around, but running around venues all around the world with like holding cameras and shit like that.
Yeah,
fucked my back so much, and like my back still is a bit fucked. I really do have to go see someone about it. But you know, well, like when I first met you guys, it was a different story. Like fuck, we were so young then. It was just like you just do whatever you want, and now it's like no, fuck,
no, absolutely not. And the thing is as well, like my back's getting worse and worse, and our sets are getting longer and longer. Like, we're not
true.
The bigger we get, the longer sets we have to play. And it's like, well, now I don't keep the energy up for 30 minutes. I keep it up for like 3 times that amount. I keep it up for like an hour and a half. And it's just like,
I always used to think that when I used to play shows, it's like, I was always like only ever in like the opening act or whatever. So I only ever had to play like a 20-minute set. But I'd barely get through it. Like I was not physical enough at all, or had enough stamina to get through 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I could not imagine what it would be like being on stage for an hour.
Well, that's why you put an acoustic song on every album, so you can have an acoustic break, and then I can fuck off for 20 minutes. So I can go away for 20 minutes, have a sit down, and be like, and then come back.
What 20-minute acoustic song do you have?
Oh, no, we don't. We have a section. So we'll normally put like all the acoustic songs in one block, and it'll be like, right, cool, I'm fucking off.
Nice. See you later.
Yeah, see you in a bit.
Sorry, Sam's got this covered.
Yeah, it's happened before where I've, in the 20-minute break, gone backstage and played like an online shooter online in a 20-minute break, finished a game, and then gone back.
You're such a dick.
Just jump her online real quick. It's like, all right, boys, where we going?
Dude, honestly, yeah, like Destiny 2, I was just like, right, cool, I can have a quick game of like Crucible here. So I played that for 20 minutes and then went back out on stage.
Fuck, that's so funny.
That's the best.
I've only done it once.
So really the heart of the podcast, I don't even know if you know what this podcast is about. It's funnily enough not about interviewing our very impressive, famous music friends, although that's been the reoccurring theme so far.
Famous.
Nah, you're famous enough.
Hey! I got stopped for photos on the Warped Tour 2015 because they all thought I was you. Remember that for that whole tour?
Fine with me, mate. You'd be doing that, and I'd be like, "Hey, see you in a bit, Warriors."
Yeah, because we had the same length beard, so everyone was like, "Oh my god, Wes!" And I was like, sure, I'll take a photo with you. I got you this time, Wes, mate." Sorry, go on, Josh.
But yeah, I guess the actual heart of the podcast is about people in creative fields sort of branching out, and I feel like creative people like us three, we all seem to have about 2 or 3 things on the go at all times. And me and Warwick are trying to break out into an industry that is fairly new to us, not as new for Warwick, but we're trying to tackle the film industry and write a TV show. Baby. And
let's go.
Yeah, so we are in uncharted waters together, and there's a lot of things we're learning, and some things are not as easy as we thought. Others are easier than we thought. But yeah, you've recently opened a tattoo shop. Maybe not so recently. Yes. It's probably like coming up to 2 years now or something, isn't it?
Just 1 year we've been open.
Just 1 year.
Crazy. Yeah, we couldn't do the anniversary. Couldn't do the fucking anniversary though because we were in lockdown.
Oh my
God. We just hit our 7th birthday the other week, and we were in lockdown. So we usually have a big flash day for our birthdays, but crazy times. But you opened it with your mate Lee.
Yeah, we did.
How did it all come about? How are you feeling about it and everything?
Good. We reopened on Monday for a minute anyway, so we'll see how long that lasts. But I don't know if we're going to be open for long. But it came about. We originally it was a bigger group of us. We wanted to open a shop, a tattoo shop, and a clothing shop in one. So the bottom floor would be like vintage, like clothing like this, and then upstairs would be tattooing. But the more we looked into it in the local area, it was like every clothes shop that we like is open for 6 months and then shuts. Like this would be silly to place our bets on this, which is so we kind of had to be like, it's probably just going to have to be a tattoo shop then. And then me and Lee, beginning of last year now, started looking seriously, looked at a few buildings, found one that was not too insane for the rent, and then we managed to get like a private lease for the building, so we didn't have to go through any fucking any like estate agent or anything. It was just us directly with the landlord, which has been great. And so we turned what used to be at one point it's been a dog groomers, at one point it's been a dancewear shop, it's also been a homeopathic remedies shop, it's also been a brothel at one point, which is
fuck yes.
Yeah.
What you need to do? Try get a photo of what it looked like as a brothel and bring back the interior design and like get it to like look that way again.
No.
What a stains everywhere.
Oh my god.
What a red velvet, I'm sure.
But
you know what's really funny about that, about the previous owners of the shop? So you obviously know my shop's called The Grand Illusion. It has sort of a heavy magician theme, magic theme. And we even had to write on our signage, not a magic shop, because so many people were coming in just being like, hey, it's my kid's birthday. I need a pack of cards. Do you have like a few books, like some tricks and stuff and like a little kit? And it's like, there's like 6 people tattooing in the background and we're like, no, we don't have any of that. We're actually a tattoo shop. And they're like, okay, bye. It's like, that happens so much. And so, and a lot of people ask me like, where's the name come from? Like blah, blah, blah. Like, is there some magic history or whatever? And it's like, no, I just like thought it was cool and I like the imagery and blah, blah, blah. And then one day, this sort of like guy in his 50s or something comes up with his partner and they pop their head in and they're like, is this a magic shop? And we're like, nah, sorry, we get that all the time. And he's like, oh, no, it's just weird because I saw like the magic posters up the stairwell and it's just really weird. Like I'm a magician and I actually used to live here. And we're like, what? Like, what are you talking about?
God.
And he's like, this used to be an apartment building and I used to live here with another magician. And we were like,
that's crazy.
That's sick.
Sick? What the hell? We're like, show us a magic trick. And he was like doing some magic tricks for us. And we were just like losing our minds. We're like, oh my God, this is the best. And he's like, yeah, I used to live here. Like, you should come check out my show and stuff like that. And we went and saw him and whatever. And then it's like, it just like gave so much credibility to the name and the idea and everything. So now I can be like, this used to be a magic shop. Magicians used to live here. We took it over. And it's like got this like epic story now. But then I started telling that story to a few people and they're like, do you reckon he used to live there? Or do you reckon he kind of like what was his assistant doing while you were doing magic? Like, were they razzle dazzling you and she was just like nicking all your stuff? And like they just go around shop to shop being like, oh, is this a magic shop? I used to live here. Here's a trick. And they just like rob you. It's like, fuck. Maybe that's actually a really good scam. Maybe they did, but I like to think he used to live there. I think it's cool.
I think he would have.
So how did it?
I hope he would have anyway.
So how did it come about with you and your mate opening a tattoo shop? Was it just like, he's a tattoo artist and you were like, I like designing shit, so let's fucking do it? Or
he said that. He said he wanted to open a clothing store, but it turned into a tat shop.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then it was just like he'd asked me years ago anyway, and I always said to him, if you ever go and open your own store or your own shop, tattoo store. The fuck am I on about?
I'll have one tattoo, please.
If you open your own tattoo store.
Factory. Tat factory, I think it's called. Yeah.
The tattery. But if you ever want to open your own shop, talk to me first and we'll go from there and we'll see what we can do. And he just said, want to do it, want to move on from where I am, want to be my own boss. And I was just like, cool. So I put the money up for it, and we've been open for a year now. Well, nearly a year.
Fuck
we've been in business for a year. We haven't been open for a year because of fucking COVID. But what are you gonna do?
Congrats!
Yeah, congrats, man. That's
Love is Chester if you're ever
That's
there.
the one.
So it's in Manchester, obviously.
No, it's in Chester.
Oh, so Chester isn't short for Manchester. Chester is its own thing.
Chester is the walled Roman city. It used to be the capital of the Roman Empire in the UK thousands and thousands of years ago. So it's a city that is, mate, it's a city that's built inside a walled fortress. Pretty sick.
That's fucking, that is fucking wild, man.
Yeah.
Is it near Manchester though?
Yeah, it's like 30 minutes away.
Okay, that's sick. Cool.
Yeah, but Chester is so it used to be a walled fortress for the Romans, and it's got its own like amphitheater there where they used to have like gladiator battles and stuff that you can go and see and stuff. So
that's fucking insane.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
See, Australia doesn't have that. Australia has, here is the town that I grew up in. Here is where like people do drugs and shit, and that's kind of it. We don't have like grand walls.
This building is 100 years old.
Yeah.
Very, very ancient and historic. This building here that's made of red brick.
It's just there's pubs in Chester that are older than America.
Fuck, that's so
which is mental. Yeah, like I
love it.
There's some old buildings. Like, let me just find out when the oldest building was built in Chester. Oldest building in Chester.
So we're now a history lesson.
Yeah. So it's the Bluebell Inn in Northgate Street, and it was built in the 15th century.
Did you say the Bluebell End?
Bluebell Inn, not the Bluebell.
The Bluebell.
Old Blue Balls Cathedral was built.
Yeah, you want to go to Blue Balls and get a pint?
Fuck, that's so good.
So there's quite a lot of history. Mm-hmm.
So, good luck with it all. I hope to visit one day.
That'd be sick. Hopefully we can
love
visit
to have
one
you.
day.
Yeah, if you're ever allowed to come over here.
Grand.
Yeah.
So.
Shit.
I don't know if many people know that you do much design work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, but you do a lot of the neck deep designs, don't you? Like a lot of the merch designs. Because I remember on the Good Charlotte tour that you were so ever graciously got me on board for, so I could fangirl over Good Charlotte for a few days. You were designing
those
some merch.
Madden brothers.
Oh, they're sweethearts. So you designed some shirts, and then I was like, "Oh, you're still doing designs?" You're like, "Yeah, I've always been doing it." I'm like, "Oh, fuck, sick." So is graphic design like something else that you've always been interested in?
Yeah, I mean, alongside who did I talk to about this? I figured it out recently when I started doing it. So I got my first like copy of Photoshop when I was 14, maybe, and I've been using it like ever since. It's just something that I've always just kept up with. I've never like consciously like sat down and gone, I'm gonna learn how to do this in like a week. It's just something I've always like dabbled with. I've always
it's something we were talking about in episode 1, which is really interesting, is like when anyone starts up a young band, one of the band members has to design the merch. Like that's just easy. It's just a given. You need cheap merch done. You tend to, the easiest thing really to do is like what you did with the Taco Bell thing, is like grab an existing logo and manipulate it to just basically have your name on it. So exactly. And that's like where the little like, MS Paint or Photoshop, like just you grab the thing, you remove it, you put the new thing, and it all starts with very simplistic manipulating of imagery, I think. And then it develops to like, actually, I can probably just draw that bit, and then actually I can probably just design something from scratch, really. Yeah. I don't really need to take a food logo for the next shirt.
No, we've kind of expanded it a bit, like, and obviously like I think I've got my skills have like grown with it. That's kind of been my area of the band as well, like, is all the design stuff, like merch. Even if I'm not doing the design, like I'm always pretty near the forefront of getting stuff sorted for us. So say like we have album artwork, I don't have the skill set to develop like a decent, like I don't feel I have the skill set, that I could design like a decent like album sleeve or anything. So we always outsource that. But even still, I'm normally the one that's like, right, cool, that needs to go to the right a little bit more. You need to put a bit more of a gradient here. This needs like a bit more like highlight there, a bit more shadow there. And everyone else is like, I thought it looked all right.
Like, no, better. Needs to be better.
For instance, like this here, copy of the album. Like I was going on about that highlight there for so long. Like you need to put a highlight on it. It needs a highlight on it. It doesn't make any sense. Why would it have a shadow and not a highlight? And then they put it on and I was like, see, it looks way better. So
3D, the world of the third dimension.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's just something I've always stuck with. And in the early days, like Josh was just saying, it's like we don't have any money. Like we can't afford £100 for a merch design. So I'll just try it. And then over the years, it's just got a bit easier. And also as well, like if you have an idea, you're not in. So the way I would normally work is I will do, before we go out on a tour, I'll do like 20 designs. And then we'll just keep throwing enough stuff at the wall till it sticks until we pick something like these 6 here are really good. The other ones we'll put on the back burner and we might use further down the line or rework. And that's just the way we've always worked. It's just that we just design, or I design, keep going and going, keep redoing, redrawing stuff, and then we'll just pick out a merch line and go from there. And then the stuff that tends to go online for our web stores and stuff is normally the stuff that we don't take on tour. And then we'll just go, right, we can put that on the web store. And if we sell 5 of them, it doesn't really make a difference because they'll only print 5 of them. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like if tour, it needs to be like the shit hot stuff because it needs to be gone by the end of it because we can't afford to store like leftovers over and over again.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, that's like, and that's, so you guys are like a pretty self-sufficient band though, right? Like from what I've just gathered over and known you guys for years, you guys do a lot of your shit in-house, and that's cool that you guys have kept that mentality throughout it all. Was that like just an easy call to make? It's like, well, fuck, we've gone this long, you know, keeping it all in-house, let's just keep doing it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, well, and we always find as well that like it's easier to tell one of us if we don't like something. Do you know what I mean? Like it's always, so say if, for instance, if we were to get someone to do a merch design or do a mix, I feel I can't really be as honest with somebody I don't know that much. Whereas if I do a design and people don't like it, go like, don't like that. It's like, all right, cool, we won't use it then. Or if Seb does a mix and we're like, change that, be like, yep, cool, done. Yeah. And it's not like, there's no like, I'm trying to think of the word, not ego, because that's the wrong word. There's no like preconception. It's just like, it's for the greater good for ourselves. So we just listen to each other and we take on each other's advice more than we probably would if we were working with someone outside of it. And it's just handy to have as well. Like, just keeping it in-house just keeps it easier. Like you don't have to go on like big long email chains chasing people for stuff. It's just like, need that design tomorrow. And it's like, I've not done it, but I'll do it now. Here you go. Like, that happens more often than not, honestly.
So good.
I'm pretty forgetful.
How are we doing for time, Warwick? Do you reckon I've kind of got one thing I'd like to end on if you're thinking of wrapping it up, but if you got something else to say, I'll hold off.
Well, you know, I reckon we can wrap things up if you're all keen to go on that route. This is live, so you know, I'm not cutting live. This.
So having this conversation with you is kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should I text you first?
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
I'll put up like a sign of like the time that we have, and then we'll then we'll figure out from there.
5 minutes left.
We better hurry up then.
This might chew up some time, so I don't know.
Yeah, go for it.
We may have like another half hour to go.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
I thought it'd be really interesting. Just to bring it back to wrestling for a bit, you know, I think Warwick said something earlier. People might have been,
that's it. We're done.
People might have been a bit worried that we didn't do enough wrestling. But West, if you were a wrestler, what would your name be, and what would your signature move be, and like just generally, what would your persona be? Would you be one of the haters or the loved ones?
I don't know. I'd mix between the middle maybe, but there's a wrestling move called the Shining Wizard, which is like a running knee. It'd have to be that. That'd have to be be my finisher. The Shining Wizard. It's a sick name as well. I don't know what my name would be. I figured you'd be like West the Grey or something, or like you'd have to have
wizard related. You've got a guitar with a wizard on it, so it's got to keep the theme up.
The guitar wizard,
the
spinning wizard.
You smash people over the head with guitars. That's your finishing move.
But that would actually be sick though if you thought about it. Like his thing, like how Undertaker comes out on the Harley, you just come out with a guitar and you're like
shredding.
Yeah, and your finishing movies, you do that spin thing you do, just like just like hitting people like a tornado with the guitar.
I could do like a spinning shining wizard.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. While holding a guitar, and the head just keeps hitting everyone.
There's a
fucking
merch
sick.
design right there. A spinning wizard with the guitar. Fuck, I'll take
On a
royalties
turnbuckle.
from that. Yeah.
On a turnbuckle, yeah.
From the top rope. Warwick, what would yours be?
What, as a wrestling dude? Fuck,
Yeah,
I don't
dude,
know.
you're big into wrestling. You'd know.
Oh yeah, I'm the world's biggest wrestling fan. I don't know. I'd probably come out with camera gear and just like smash people
Yes,
with it. Just
the
like
cameraman.
like just jab them in the face with it. Like, you know how paparazzis get up in people's faces? I'd do that, but just jab them, just poke them in the eyes with it.
But it'd have to be some pun about like shooting people. Like you're like
true.
the shooter. Like. But you just take photos of people to death or something. Like you flash them in the eyes so much they get kind of stunned, and then you knock them out. Like,
Yeah.
Just like not even with a real camera, you just go like that, and then they fake like,
my eyes,
and then just
elbow to the head.
I feel like that's like a jail move, right? Like, that's like a real like rough move. I don't know if that would be illegal
do
or
it,
not
dude.
in wrestling. I don't know. I don't know the fucking rules. I'm learning.
You're the fucking shooter, dude.
there
You
aren't
tell
any.
me.
They change them when they want, anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's so good.
But yeah,
I reckon I'd have to be
Oh,
like
get the
the
dog.
spaghetti man or something.
Yeah. Do you want to meet the dog? I can hear her crying downstairs in a crate. Let me go get her. I'll be 2 seconds.
Let's go real quick. Oh my god! Now it's left to Josh and myself. I'm not
Well,
cutting
while he's
this.
off
I'm
screen,
keeping
I'll
this.
finish up the convo of I'd probably be the spaghetti man because I'm so long and thin. I would just like noodle around the ring and just like throw spaghetti at people, meatballs to the eyes and blind them with spaghetti sauce.
It's got to be like spicy meatballs as well.
Yes.
Because that would really fuck them up.
the pepper.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
pepper count burns. Fuck.
And like
There she is.
each round you get more and more. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Meat
Oh.
Did you say it was like a whippet?
Yeah. Oh, she's
It's like a
crying
whippet
down the mic.
terrier thing.
Yeah. Little
Special
whippet terrier
feature.
cross.
Maybe
Oh.
this is the thumbnail with the dog, because I feel like that would get us lots of
Let me
likes.
do the Lion King thing with her. Just
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Got
she
it.
posed. She
Hey!
posed. Oh,
Yes.
good girl.
Holy shit.
Good
That's
girl.
amazing. I feel
Well
I feel
done.
great after that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll wrap it up now that you've got your dog with you, and you've probably got to do dog parent duties.
She needs to go out for a wee.
Dog related things. So yeah, new album coming out in a week.
All
24th.
distortions are intentional.
Yep.
Yes.
What is something that you are hyped? I don't know. Plug it. Just
It's a very good record. It's our favourite.
Oh,
we've
here
ever
he
done.
is.
yeah.
7 a.m.
Yeah, but we're gonna say that, aren't we? But it is genuinely everyone's favorite that we've ever released.
That's sick.
Is
Yeah,
it?
just give
is
it a
there
listen.
sound? Do you feel like it's gone more poppy, more raw, heavier?
It's just what we want to
lighter?
do, pretty
Yeah.
much. It's
Sick.
not gone in. It's there's some stuff on there that you might not expect. There's some stuff on there that you will. We just like and love every song on it. So it's
so
she's on the
sick.
keyboard now, but she's it's the best neck deep record we've ever made. So hopefully you will enjoy it. It's out next Friday, 24th, or whenever this goes up. So 24th of July. Give it a listen.
Yeah,
If you don't
we
buy
are-
it, fine. Just stream it.
Yeah, we are very hyped to give it a listen, give it a spin, and I'm sure we'll probably leave it in the description down below and whatnot. See, I've been on YouTube. I've been in the YouTube space for such a fucking long time, and I'm still so terrible with like and subscribe and put it down below and everything. So I'm learning. Oh, she's getting upset. Yeah, see,
She's
she doesn't.
booting off.
She
Yeah.
doesn't. She doesn't like it. All right, everyone.
No.
Thanks again for tuning into another episode of the Mates Rates podcast. You can find it on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube for your eye holes as well. Give us a rating, like it, subscribe it, tell all your mates. I've been Warwick. Here is my mate Josh and my other mate West, and we'll see you guys next
Nora.
time.
See
Yeah,
ya.
and Nora. Sorry.
Thanks, Wes.
See ya.
Love you, bro.
See you guys.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.